Hey guys, what is going on? It's your boy. We are back. I've got to tell you guys about Ranger Stop Day 2. Now, if you guys saw my vlog Day 1, you guys already know what happened, right? This is going to be Day 2. Now, if you guys want to see the full vlog of me not sitting here telling you what happened, but if you want to see what actually happened, go to the website at Kennilo'sNinjaSun.com. They're on there. You got 2024 and you got 2025. You can watch both vlogs there. Believe you me, you don't want to miss it. I do have some clips on YouTube so you guys can actually see. So check the clips out and hopefully it makes you want to go watch because it was exciting. Excuse me. So now let's get to day 2. Now, we get okay. Now, if you guys don't know, if you guys did not see in the first video, y'all know, I had a VIP pass, and the VIPs they get in like 30 minutes early before everybody else. So we got in about 9:30. No, actually, no, it was 10 o'clock, and everybody got in at 10:30. So me, my friend Jason, and James, all three of us went down and got something to eat. We came back upstairs. We got ready, right? So my friend James wanted to cosplay. Now, if y'all want to see the cosplay, oh my gosh. If y'all want to see the cosplay, y'all just got to go and watch it up and watch the full vlog, okay? So him, his son, and his girlfriend, they all, and I was like, how did they get her roped up in this, in his craziness? Now, the shirt that I'm wearing right now is what I wore on Saturday. So Saturday really wasn't as much because I didn't have a lot of memory on my phone to record a lot of videos. So what I mostly did, I had enough to take a lot of pictures. So this was one of the particular things Jason and I did on Saturday. We went to like different booths, meeting different Rangers, from the shows. Now, my favorite Red Ranger, the first black leader, Selwyn Ward, the first Red Ranger that was a black leader. He was there. I actually got a chance to talk to him. Oh, the man is down to earth, nice, humble. Oh my gosh! When I told him how he was my favorite, my favorite Red Ranger, and not only was he my favorite because he was the first black. His character TJ was like really, really friendly person, and y'all know that's kind of me. A lot of people say I'm an ass. I can be, but I choose not to be unless you want to be. But he was so nice, down to earth. So what me and Jason decided to do, we asked him. Now the other guy, my other favorite black Red Ranger was there. Brendan McLaren. Now, you guys probably know him because he plays in The Rookie. He's also in other movies as well, so he's still a working actor. But he had time to come, and I was so happy because I actually got his autograph. Hold on, y'all. I'm going to show y'all the autograph. So, I got his autograph. My friend Jason, he ended up, getting me his autograph for Christmas. Now, it wasn't just me, it was him and our other friend Mason. He got all three of us, an autograph from, Brandon. And here's that one right here. I just framed it. So we got this one right here together. Trying to get that off. Trying to get it off so y'all can actually see. Yeah, he actually did it. So what was funny was when I went to meet him, I had that with me. So I didn't need an autograph from him because as y'all see, I already got the autograph, right? And the certificate of authenticity is in the back. So he was like, so when I walked up to him, I was like, Brandon, what's going on? So he was like, hey man, how you doing? So I was like, I'm good. I said, I know you may not remember, but you did this for me off of Steamly. And he was like, oh my God. I said, yeah. I said, the big guy. I think you talked to him and his name was Jason. So he was like, yeah, I know it. Yeah, I met him. I said, yeah, he was the one that actually got this for me. And I told him because he knew you was my favorite. Now I do have certain amount of favorites, right? So he was like, oh man. So he was like, so what could I, is there anything you want me to do and stuff? I said, yeah, I'm glad you asked. I said, me and Jason, we talked to Selwyn, and Selwyn is down, but we wanted to know, would you like taking a picture with all, with the four of us or with the three of us? So, because you guys are you two are my favorite Red Rangers, so I would love for y'all to do so. He was like, man, yeah, I'm down. He was like, set it up. And, I said, Selma's already down. I just needed to make sure you was down. He was like, yeah, let me get my people down because he had a line. His line was long as hell. So I go back over to Selwyn. I was like, Selwyn. He said he down. He was like, man. Oh, he was like, okay, so let's do this. He was like, he said, well, let's get the table down. He said, let him get his, people down first. He was like, oh, fuck that. Let's get on over there. So he said, which helmet you want? I said, get Turbo since, that's my favorite and you the Red Ranger. Let's go. So I called Jason. Jason was like, I'm on my way. I'm on my way. So we all get there, right? We get there. And his line is long as hell. Brandon looks, he was like, okay, okay. He was like, y'all, his handler said, look, we got to cut for a second. Come on, guys. This is what we did right here. If you guys want to see, it's on my Instagram. This is what we did. And when I tell you, this was so epic, I loved it. You guys have no idea how happy I was. Yes, I'm a 45-year-old man. Fuck it. I love these guys. These guys were a part of my, I shouldn't say childhood, but I would say my teenhood. Now, when I started watching SPD, I was already grown. But, Turbo was a part of my childhood. Well, because I was still in high school when Turbo was out. So I was still in high school. I was just like, oh my gosh. That was so much fun. We had a whole lot of fun with doing that. And, I didn't get a chance to go back over and see him after that, but that made my day. Because I did kind of want one with both of them, with Brandon by myself, but I was just like, I got it. Let's move on. So then I end up going down to the Power Rangers no, not Power Rangers Turbo, Power Rangers and Time Force. They had a panel. Get down there. The panel was so good. The panel was, you get the chance to hear the actors how they, first got into the roles, and you know, behind the scenes, we heard how Jason Funk, because he played, he played Alex and he played Wes, so he had two characters he had to play, and he was like, most of the cast was like, when he had to do that, when he had to play two characters, it was just a boring day on set. It was a more of a Jason day because it took so much time in makeup, for him to, look the age of Wes. I mean, not the age of Wes, but the age of Alex, because Alex was his descendant, like I think it was like 3,000 years in the future. So they had to make him look, distant, but you can still tell it was them. It was him. So then Vernon Wells, if y'all know that name, he is, I mean, oh my God. This man is so hilarious. He is so funny. If you guys, I'm not gonna tell y'all what he said because y'all need to go watch the vlog to see what he said. I get it? I don't think I even got it because my camera, I told you I barely had any memory on my phone to record everything. I know I did get Aaron. I know I got Aaron talking. I know I got her. It was a lot of stuff I couldn't get. I'm gonna have to get me a better camera. I was trying to get a vlog camera. Me and Renee was working our asses off to try to get one for me. But it's still in the works. So it's still in the works. So we're working on trying to get me a good vlog camera. And not only a new vlog camera, my stabilizer broke on me at MomoCon. Was it MomoCon? Yeah, it was at MomoCon. I lost a screw to my stabilizer. So after that, me, Jason, I think we go upstairs. Now at this point, with not Wes. Jason told me he was leaving because he was only going to be there 2 days, which was Friday and Saturday. He had to get back home to his family because it was Father's Day. So, by him being a new father to his second child, it was like, okay, I understood. So he's like, man, Kenny, I was like, what time are you leaving? Because I do want to come and say goodbye before I want to do come and say goodbye before you go to say safe travels. And he was like, I'm not leaving until, at first I thought he said 2, but I get down there at 2. He was like, no, be down here by 3. He said, be down here by 3:30. So I said, okay, I got you. So I go upstairs. I was about to get ready to take my shower because we was about to get ready for the dinner. And when 3:30 came around, I went down. I saw Jason, told him safe travels. Give my love to the family and whatnot. So he said thank you. I said, look, he told me he was going to be at Dragon Con. He said if he's at Dragon Con, it'll be a little bit more relaxed and we can, kind of chill and, chit chat and, catch up. So I was like, I got to get me a ticket to go so I can actually, go. Because this time I'm going to tell him, like, bro, whenever you're in town, look, I would, if Dan is in town, all three of us, we can go to like I know y'all don't, well, Dan does, but I know Jason doesn't drink. Dan does, but we could go to like we could go to a bar or something and sit down. I drink, but I'm trying to not drink so much, because I'm trying to lose my weight. And guys, I've done really, really good. I mean, this shirt is not doing any just, well, it's not doing any justice because my stomach's still big. But I'm making strides. So after he left, I go upstairs because Jason let me use his shower. So I was like, okay. I took a shower, got changed, and I end up, so we end up going to the dinner. Now this is where things for me kind of pissed me off a little bit because I got word, and now y'all know how I feel about me some Catherine Suller. Y'all know Nakia, Catherine, and Karen. Those are like my three sisters. I love those three to death. Well, I love them two pieces basically. They're like my sisters. And the way I know I'm still a fan or whatnot, but my relationship with them is a little bit different. And so this is what pissed me off. So as I'm getting dressed and we were getting ready to go down to eat, to do the dinner, I get word that Catherine, and not just her, but a couple of vendors, their money got stolen. Their money got stolen and it was all over Instagram. It didn't come out. It wasn't over. I think it didn't come out until late that night. But they didn't want to, spoil everything that was going on. And I was really pissed because it's like these people leave their family and friends to come see fans, to make us happy, and to make money. An honest living. They come to see us, to do a service for us, and the low life dirty scum that did this could have potentially had her not want to come back at all. And it hurted me so bad because, I know I'm not real close to her, like, like 10 plus years or, 10 plus years close to where I could have gone to her and hugged her, comfort her. She had friends around her that could have done that. But let me get back to the story, then I get to that part. So we go down to eat, and this year the food wasn't as good. I'm gonna be honest, the food was not good, and it's not any fault of Karen and Nakia, it's not any fault of Ranger Stop. It's on the hotel. The hotel must have changed staff because last year the food was good. It was hot. They had brisket last year. This year they gave us the same thing, but it was a little less. And I think I know we. I'm not. Yeah, I know why, but we're not gonna say anything. The reason why we didn't have as much, but I think it was. I think they staff has gotten cut because the food. I'm not gonna lie, it was still good, but it wasn't good to like it was last year. Oh my gosh, the chicken was humongous. They uh they had big breasts, they had big legs. This year they had like chicken wings. I mean, and then they was bringing when they brought the food out, the food was good. I'm not gonna lie, it was good, but it wasn't. It didn't hit like it did last year. The chocolate mousse cake was really good, but that cake flew off the panel. I'm finna say the panel, the stands last year. This year they didn't really take a lot of it because the cake was melting. So like I said, I think the staff has changed at the hotel, which I know it did. But like I said, there's no fault on the ladies because they don't control the kitchen. It's on the hotel. But nonetheless, the food was still good regardless of what happened. To even show y'all, my friend Jake sat next to me. He had a plate full of mac and cheese and didn't even eat it because he said it was so cold. That's how bad the food was. And like I said, do not blame this on the ladies. This is not their fault. This is the hotel's fault. They can't control the kitchen. So let's just say. So now, let's get on to the announcement. So, Karen, Nakia, they and Mikey, they got up there. Now, they were three owners, and they were basically talking about, how good it's been for the last, they've done it for 7 years. I only been for the last 3 because I didn't have the money to go the other 4. So, they was, talk about how good it was, and all of us out here crying and everything, right? Now, I specifically, now let me go ahead and set this up. They were talking about, this is the last year. They had gifts for the staff. They had gifts for, Karen, Nakia, and Mikey. Everybody was, passing gifts around, and Karen comes up and basically says, look, we found the buyer, so Ranger Stop will continue. But Nakia and I will not be hosting. We're not the owners anymore. So we will not be, a part of. We'll be a part of it in the extent that we were this year. Now there was one guy at the table we were sitting at, and this was Jason's college friend. And he was like, "Well, they advertised it as it was the last year, that it was the final year. I hope they didn't do this to try to garner, get people to come to Ranger Stop." I said, "No." I said, "Let me stop you right there." I said, I don't know them like that, but from the 3 years that I've known them, that is not in their character." Karen, because somebody asked her this question when they first announced it last year that this was going to be the final year. Somebody asked Karen, "Are you guys going to, sell it to someone?" At that point in time, she didn't have no buyers, so she said, "Yeah." She said, "If anybody is willing to buy it, we will sell it, but right now we don't have any, buyers." I remember her saying that in her live on Instagram because I was like, "Oh my God, no!" But when she said that, she said, if we get a buyer, we will let you guys know. What they did was, and I think the deal got solidified. I don't know. I want to say around probably MomoCon or at the beginning of the year or around MomoCon. That's what I want to say. and that was in May. So the deal probably went through around about that time, because they wanted to make it a surprise. They wanted to make it a surprise to keep the fans, so the fans won't be thinking that it's gonna, that it's not coming back. But they didn't want to just blurt it out and say, oh, it is saved. I get it. This was some good news that they wanted to share with the VIPs. However, it got ruined because there's a couple of YouTubers that came out and posted it before the dinner. I know for this for a fact because I get a text from a friend asking me, is did they is Ranger Stop still going on? And I was like, wait, what are you talking about? Because Karen ain't even made the announcement. They were still on giving gifts at this point. And I'm sitting here like, who in the hell would spoil something like that? And I know who it is, but I'm not going to say anything because I'm not trying to be in, I'm not trying to be in any, YouTube beefs or anything like that. My content is my content and I'm staying right where I am. But this person, it wasn't just this person, it was other media sources too that did it. And I know that Karen and Nikia were pissed when they found out who it was because they were trying to, they wanted to give it to the VIPs first and then come out at the end and, tell everybody else. They didn't want everybody to know. They wanted the VIPs to know first. That's what we paid to go to the VIP dinner for. So we were the first to know. But here, I found out over a damn text from a friend. And I'm sitting like, this is not, I'm like, who the hell would do this? Why would y'all do this? This makes no sense. Y'all wanted to take their thunder just to put it out there to try to what? Say, oh, I guess, they're not gonna, this is not the final one. So I guess they just tried to trick everybody. No, they did not. No, they didn't. And I will fall on that sword. Because if you remember, I just explained to y'all, Karen said in her video, if they found a buyer, they will sell it. They will sell. So why would y'all do that again? I was pissed. So on top of that, the whole entire thing that happened to Kat and a couple of other vendors. Now, I don't know the vendors by name, and I don't even know which vendors it happened to. So that's why I'm not calling them by name because I don't know. The only reason why I'm saying Kat because Kat was she was the celebrity that it happened to. And, she is a good friend of mine. And, that's why it hurts more to know it happened to her. But if I knew the vendors, I would say them too. But it wasn't, I don't know, so I can't really say. But anyway, the night went on, the mood was, the mood was down a little bit because of what happened to Kat and the vendors by them being robbed. Thank God none of them was hurt. Thank God they was not hurt. But, the fact that she lost money, they lost money, that pissed me off. And, Kat was like, so, you can see that she was visibly disturbed the whole night. Like I said, I wanted to go talk to her, give her a hug, but I was like, no. I read the room. I was like, I knew this was not the time for me to do it. I will see her tomorrow. So I, don't want too much, don't want too much, too many emotions because like I said, I was pissed. So we, they did musical chairs. Musical chairs was pretty good. Jake and the kid were cheating, as I know, and I'm gonna tell her when I see her again. I'm like, y'all cheated at you and my friend Jake. Y'all cheated at y'all cheated at musical chairs. Now, when you watch it, it's in the blog, so if you watch it, you'll see. I'm just like, and Jake said he came and told us the whole entire situation of what he did in musical chairs. So I was like, I said your ass cheated. But anyway, the night went on without a hitch. Everybody had fun. I tried to do the 360 with Karen and Nakia and Kat, but understandably, Kat was not gonna do it that night. Nakia, she was, her and Karen, they were mostly, running around, getting stuff done. So I was just like, so I was like, you know what? I'll wait till the next day. And then, if they're available, we'll do the 360. But that was day two, guys. Day two was a lot. Day two was a lot. And despite of the bad things that happened, still good things came out of the event. You know, Cat and no one was hurt. I think they did catch the guy, but they didn't recover the money. But I think they caught the guy. But from what I remember, uh, I think they caught him after the fact. Uh, but other than that, guys, day two was so much fun. I got a chance to see my boy Jason off. And if y'all wondering why I'm not talking about Sky, it's because Sky was so fucking busy. She hugged me now. Yeah, she had. I told y'all I fixed her plate in day one. She was so freaking busy. I would go over, me and her would hug, and she gave me a kiss, and but she had to tend to the fans. Her table was booming this year, so I couldn't, so we couldn't talk like we normally talk. But I did text her after I got home. I texted her and told her I'm sorry that I couldn't see her off, and I told her I was so damn proud of her. I love what she's doing. Told her to keep it up. Told her keep it up, and I told her I would call her later. So I do need to call her. She gonna probably cuss me out like, you ain't called me. I was like, girl, I told you I've been busy. I've been busy. I'm sitting here trying to make content, to try to work so I can make some money. So I'm that's what I'm doing. But guys, thank y'all so much for watching. Thank you guys for listening. If you guys want to go to Ranger Stop 2026, it will be available. However, I don't know when the tickets are going on sale. So when they go on sale, I will let y'all know. Thank y'all for watching. If you want to watch the full blog of what I experienced, go to Kennilo'sNinjaSun.com. See you guys later.